Selamat datang kembali ke Business Inspirations, masih bersama Coach Cynthia dan juga narasumber kita di sini adalah Coach Marvin. Yeah, we're still talking about coaching. We're still talking about the challenges, about what the business owners are facing. But now I want to ask you a little bit about what does it take to be a coach? See, what do you think? Orang-orang seperti apa sih yang suitable to become coaches?
Well, firstly, I think you have to have, for a business coach, you have to have an interest in business. That's got to be number one. And secondly, you have to have an interest in people and you know, what makes them tick. And thirdly, you got to love winning. You know, I've never met a sports coach who didn't care about if they win or lose.
Right.
You know, every sports coach at a higher level is there to do a job, which is to get results.
But you know, you get these things like, oh, kalau bisnis itu emang harus ikhlas. You know, there's a certain point of pasrah di situ and everything like that. You do what you can, but success is maybe up to God or blessings and everything like that. What would a coach say about that?
It's the same thing in sports. You know, they say like some teams are good because they're lucky, or they win because they're lucky. But if you ask all the good athletes, all the top coaches and everything, they always say, the harder we practice, the luckier we get.
Okay.
And that's the same thing in business, you know, the activities, like you said, you know, oh, we have to do certain things and then the result is later. Well, we can only control our activities. We can't control the results. So we can focus on doing the daily activities well, the discipline of doing the things we know we should be doing, even though we don't feel like doing it.
Right. So, is there any, what do you think is the balance between the intuition one may need to have as a coach to ask the right questions, and also the structure behind the coaching program?
Yeah, definitely what we are taught in the action system is that we have a strong system that guides us to help clients through their situations. We have questioning techniques, we have tools that we use to help people, and then of course we have tools as well that we can use to help clients see the bigger picture, right? And then also work on the details. When I was a client, again, the first benefit that I got was like I realized, you know what, as a business owner, as a manager, I was actually doing too much of the work of my team members. You know, I was taking responsibilities every time they had a question. Here's an answer, boom, there's an answer. So what happened is, you know, there's a lot of questions coming my way. So one of my first assignments from my coach was like, you know what, you got to learn how to coach your own team. Oh, I thought I knew how to coach. You know?
Exactly, especially with you, right?
Exactly, and so that got my curiosity going, got me to read more on coaching and ask questions about coaching techniques as well. And the fundamental thought, which is, again, these people know what the answers are. If they come up to me with a question, if I give them an answer, then, you know, I'm taking responsibility away from them. So I got to give the responsibility back to them as a business owner, as their coach, and walk them through the situation, you know, where we go, okay, what's the situation? What are the possible solutions? What are the pros and cons of this? Which one do you feel better? Great, let's do that one. And then become supportive on that.
Right. And I know you are in charge of facilitating the coaches' learning for all of the action coaches in Indonesia. So, ibaratnya, you're like the head coach for Action Coach Indonesia. What do you think of when you are facilitating training? How do you train coaches? Or how do you coach coaches?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, how do you coach professional soccer players? You know, these guys are already, you know, top in their levels. You know, when I was coaching here, these guys were the best in Indonesia because, you know, they're already playing in the highest level in Indonesia. There's not too much more things that I could teach them. The same thing here, you know, I'm working with some of the best coaches in the world. There's not a lot of things new things I could teach them, but the focus is then on facilitating. How can I draw out what they know? How can I get them to be more curious? How can I get them to share? How can I get them to think beyond what their normal thought patterns are?
And how do you do that?
We do it in the style of a workshop. You know, so I get them to straight away relate to the current situation. What are they dealing with? And then I go, okay, great. So let's look at a different problem, but a similar case, and what are theoretically the things that you would do to do this? You know, so they would then look at the problem from a sort of unattached mindset, right? They're not involved in that one, so they think clearer. Usually when people are involved, if you're in a certain situation, you're emotionally thinking about it. But if we step out, we start thinking rationally and logically. And then, okay, let's go back to that problem. Let's look at this list of solutions. Which ones could we actually be applying that we haven't applied yet? Which ones could we try that we haven't tried yet?
Now, if you are building a team of coaches for like small, medium-sized businesses or business community here, what types of people make great coaches? I mean, what type of industry backgrounds or maybe personality types? What's your take on it? Who makes the best coaches?
You got to be at least a bit outgoing, you know, because you're dealing with people every day. As a coach, I've met many different types of sports coaches. There are some who are very loud, very good at dealing with a lot of people. I myself always preferred the quiet one-on-ones, the chats with certain players. I knew what got different players going. So there's no one particular type, but it's how comfortable are you in your own shoes and how passionate are you in helping people. So when you're looking at industry background, you know what, it really doesn't matter as long as you're interested in business. You got to be willing to open a book a lot. You know, you got to learn new things, go to seminars, go to workshops. It's a continuous learning process. You're expecting clients to learn, so the rule goes back to you, number one, which is you got to learn yourself. And secondly, you got to be interested in other people's businesses. You got to be interested in making sure that they get their wins. It's not about you, it's about them. And so you've got to be able to put your ego aside and help them through their situations, help them reach their goals.
It's interesting. It's about congruency, isn't it? Once you stop learning, you'll get all these clients that don't want to learn.
Exactly. It's fun, you know, once you love learning, you get to discuss all of the stuff that you're learning with the stuff that they're learning as well. So.
Right, and then everybody grows, But it's almost like a coach is almost, for me, it's like a leader. And your clients will follow the leader. And as soon as you ask them to do something that you're not doing, they'll quickly point that out. That
I mean, I look at us as the first ingredient in the environment that we create for our clients. You know, maybe we're not so much of a leader, but we're sort of stirring the waves around them. And then their job is to do the same for their team, right? Because they're going to be the role model, the leaders for their team. So they got to create that learning environment, that positive environment for their business. So the only thing I can do is just try to stir it the right way.
Right. Final question. What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Legacy do I want to leave behind? That's a good question.
That's what they pay me for.
Exactly. You know what? My personal vision, I said, is like helping people to achieve awesome success, you know, and that's what made me happy when I was coaching soccer, especially when I was coaching kids, seeing, you know, the little kid who couldn't run properly when they first joined, score their first goal, and the parents happened to videotape it. Like in our school, when, you know, a kid would come into the school, they don't even speak English at all. They would cry when the English teacher comes into the room. And then, you know, they would sing in the English production for Christmas or something like that, and the parents are crying again. And that's really the legacy that I would want to continue. You know, my mom set up this school, and definitely our vision with the team at school is to continue this for as long as possible. And that also translates to our business coaching. You know, I want to leave a legacy of successful businesses, a lot of positive-minded people who have been touched by action, but in any other enlightening concepts that help them get the results, you know, just making Indonesia a much more positive place to be.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much for the time, and congratulations on all the good results that you've gotten for your clients. And again, I think through this discussion, we've learned a lot more about the heart of the coach, what kind of people are out there that could be coaches, and we encourage all of you that if you think you are up to the challenge and the passion to become a coach, please join a coaching organization, join the cause of helping business people be more successful. And if you own a business and you feel that you need to learn how to be better coaches for your organization, please get some resources that's available out there and do something about it. Because I think the coaching methodology could be the new thing, the way that is the more effective thing to make our businesses grow. And why not, right? Just leave a legacy. What is your legacy? I'm asking the viewers is, what legacy do you want to leave behind from your business and from yourself? So thank you very much, Marvin, for your time.
My pleasure.
And we hope you've gained a lot out of this session of Business Inspirations. Join us next time with more inspirations. Thank you.